Okay, guys, I thought I would read this to you, and I noticed a kind of a cool pattern today. So, this is the Feast of Trumpets, or it says Festival of Trumpets there. It's really Yom Teruah, the Day of Blasting Trumpets, is really what it translates to. It's in Leviticus 23, and it's also verse 23, and then I want you to look at this other pattern. What day are we on in the Julian calendar? 9/23, right? When did we see the first part of the Revelation 12 sign? We saw that back in 9/23 of 2017, right? If you go back to my darkness dream video and interpretation, that happened sort of between the eclipse that we had, and then the Revelation sign was ahead of us, just like maybe a month or so. So I thought there was a lot of 23s in this that y'all might find that interesting, but I thought I would read this. And then I was going to show you parts of Carl Gallup's Rapture dream. And I think his is probably pretty accurate. It seems like almost everybody that I've seen has like a rapture dream, then they're standing in front of a field. So my darkness dream, I was standing in front of like a field with a bunch of people in front of it. And then this one, I have another rapture dream too, where I actually met Jesus in space. And that was the first inkling that I had that Joshua was a true prophet, because he said he also met Jesus in space. So see, sometimes he talks to us in similar languages, like the other lady too, that I was going to bring some of hers up, and maybe the next one I do. I'm going to focus more on the darkness in the book of Joel then. But we had similar things in our dreams too. And I'm going to get her name on here finally. I'm going to get her name right, I promise, next time. And that way you can kind of see, like, well, if they've seen the same things that you saw, you can kind of validate that they are true, unless they're like copying somebody or whatever. But nobody had even really looked at my dream video until this whole thing happened. It was like 200 views, so I don't think it's like one of those copying things. But it says, "The Lord said to Moses, 'Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. On the first day of the appointed month in early autumn, you are to observe a day of complete rest. It will be an official day for holy assembly, a day commemorated with loud blasts of a trumpet. You must do no ordinary work on that day. Instead, you are able to present special gifts to the Lord.'" So you're supposed to like stay home on these. So certain ones of these feasts, you're supposed to stay home from them and not actually work that day. So I don't know how much of this dream I'm going to be able to show you for Carl Gallup, so I'm just going to kind of get to the meat of it. But if you kind of put this into a search bar, Pastor Carl Gallup's Rapture Dream, you'll be able to pull the whole thing up, and then you can watch it in its totality. But I'm going to start for the point where he's in the field, okay? If I can get there while I'm videoing. Hold on.
So I go to bed, go to sleep. In my dream / vision, whatever, I dreamed that I was standing in a field, and it was nighttime, and I was looking at the expanse of the sky. I mean, I might have been in big sky country or something. And there's no mountains, there were no buildings in front of me, just the horizon, the beauty of the heavens. It was breathtaking. Behind me, I could hear the sounds of life. I could hear horns honking, people talking, conversations. I couldn't make out specific words, but like multitudes of people talking, cheering, maybe watching a ball game. Heard babies crying, not in terror or anything, just baby talk and crying and people talking. It was the sounds of life. I never turned around. I don't know if I was prohibited from doing that. I had no inkling to do it. I was looking at the expanse of the sky. Beautiful, beautiful night. Hearing all of the sounds behind me of life, not a care in the world. As I was watching the stars and constellations, and I can remember my dream identifying a couple of the constellations that I know, and literally seeing them. And then the next thing I know is that the stars begin to take on colors. And I see these colors in my dream, and I can remember thinking, not only is this beautiful, but this is very unusual. I don't know that I've ever seen this phenomenon before. And then I would see things streaking across the sky, maybe like a comet or something, but it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen with colors involved in it. And then some of the constellations began to kind of almost swirl, not like a fan, but I mean just kind of started moving like that. And then they started shifting positions a little bit. Then I can remember thinking, okay, something supernatural is going on. Now all this is happening in my mind as I'm watching. I'm still hearing the sounds of life. Then I hear the sounds of life behind me getting a little more panicked. It's like they're seeing it too, and they don't know what to make of it. I can remember that I didn't have a feeling of terror. I had a feeling of awe and wonder and thinking something is happening in the heavens. There's a shifting, there's a shattering, there's something is going on. Supernatural. And then the stars appeared, literally, to fall from the sky. Not just fall, but to be zooming towards the earth. At the same time that it looked like, well, now I know the scriptures that talk about the heavens being rolled up like a scroll. It looked like almost like a dimensional shift that was taking place. And then the streaking coming down, and then the sounds of life behind me. Holy terror. People were shrieking, screaming. You could hear people, oh my God, and they, and then sirens were going off and warning sounds, and it was like something cataclysmic was happening. I'm still watching it. It was happening so quickly, and I remember thinking, well, I don't have any fear in me. The next thing I know, there's a presence beside me. I'm not allowed to look, or I didn't look, but I was aware that I was in the midst, the arms of a presence, or in the midst of a presence, a personal presence. And the next thing I know, I'm just being lifted up. And I'm not talking about some kind of cheesy movie of the rapture or anything. It's just, it was real. It was smooth. It was peaceful.
Now I want to stop there. Now remember, we know in part and we prophesy in part. So sometimes people don't get the entire picture of what all the steps of the rapture will be. They just kind of get like the front end and the back end of it, or they might get the middle of it, like what I think I got in my dream with the darkness coming down. So you can't always think that these things are so linear when you're thinking about them, because they sometimes can come in like little chunks where there's a little missing piece that somebody else might have, and then the other person's got the other part of it, and things like that. But I wanted to show you this because I think that might be what's going on, or what might happen in the stars. That might be something to do with the Revelation 12 sign of the dragon, is what I'm thinking. All right, and then I wanted to show this to you also. Sorry, again, Satan is making my mouth dry up. Baby, will you bring me some water? Please. So my dream, I was also standing in a field like this, and it had really bright green grass, like really super bright, nice grass. And like him, I was kind of looking out. In my dream, the grassy field was very long, and in front of me there were like some kind of a body of water. I don't know if it was a big lake or some kind of ocean back there. There weren't tall buildings on that side. And then on the left of me was like some kind of townhouse buildings or something. And there weren't any kids on the field, but I could hear also like him sounds of life behind me and around me. And then the next moment, I'm up in heaven in front of Jesus. Now, this would be the second heaven, in the air, in space. And I basically saw Jesus. He didn't have holes in his hands or his feet or anything. I knew it was him. He was wearing white. He was kind of bright, but he wasn't like sparkly or anything. And I just remember looking at him and thinking, gosh, your skin looks so perfect. Like, he just looks so like a perfect human being that I couldn't even like imagine what that skin would look like. And so what I did was I took my right hand, I grabbed his right hand, and I put the back of his hand to my cheek, and I said, "Oh, you're finally here." And I was so excited he was finally there. But I remember that in the back of him, in the blackness of space, there were no stars. I didn't see any stars. I didn't see the sun. I didn't see any like distant stars. There were no stars, which leads me to believe that the things that were falling out of the sky in my darkness dream over there with the bus, that was the stars that had fallen out. So there's a sequence here going on where the stars are falling out. Sorry, hold on. The stars are falling out of the sky. Then there's going to be some darkness. And then I'm going to let you see the other lady's dream in the next video. And we're going to talk about that with the book of Joel. And that kind of goes into that end time Bible study if you want to go and follow over there to sort of know what's coming, okay? And then I think the darkness happens, and then, like I say, I think there's some kind of task that this army of God is supposed to be doing, perhaps in these like fiery kind of chariots, like Elijah's chariot. And then I think after that, then we go and join them as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking might happen. Now, again, I say this is a nudge. This is not a prophecy, so I don't know for sure, but I'm just trying to help like put the pieces together and help you kind of see what might happen here. Now, you can go back and watch the rest of it if you want to see what else he saw. And he's got some confirmations on this dream from like his grandson, and then some lady at a conference that came up and said, I had this dream and God said I need to talk to you about it. So that's why I'm showing you this one, because I think this one is legit. Mine was also in a field. Mine was also with people like around me. And then he's got 2 confirmations in here that someone else dreamed the same thing. So this to me sounds like pretty good evidence that it is from God. All right, so that just helps you guys kind of look at that and think about, what we might be seeing here in the next day or two. Now, he may wait till the last day to put the sign up too. I don't know. He may not do it tonight, but he's going to do it. It's definitely coming. So you just keep believing it's going to happen, and don't get into doubt, okay? It's coming. My spirit is just bubbling up again. It's coming, all right? Okay, I love y'all.